based on the subject Career at Sea in Merchant Navy, which is organized by Rajiv Gandhi Pradyogiki Vishwavidyalaya, which is accredited with A grade with NAAC, and jointly organized by Chameli Devi Group of Institutions under TEQIP 3. On behalf of management, faculties, staff, and students, I consider this as my ardent privilege to welcome all the student participants, all the faculty participants, and our dear speaker in this event. To speak more about this event, we have with ourselves Mr. Sumit Dubey, who happens to be the marine engineer at marine engineer officer with Dom Shipping, Denmark. About Sumit sir, we may know that he is born and brought up in a town near Nagda in Indore and completed his schooling from Aditya Birla Public School, Nagda. He's a mechanical engineer from SVITS, which is now as Triple V under RGPV Bhopal. Also, further to that, he has completed his PG course in marine engineering from Samudra Institute of Maritime Studies, Lonavala. After the course completion, he started selling with Executive Ship Management Singapore as a junior engineer. Then he cleared his Marine Engineer Officer Class 4 from Maritime and Port Authority, which is MPA, Singapore. Then he sailed as a fourth engineer with executive on their crude oil and chemical tankers. Then joined Tom Shipping, Denmark, and currently sailing as a fourth engineer. So I would request Sumit sir to please enlighten our students, the faculty members, and all the attendees with the insights over the career in sea in Merchant Navy perspective. Over to you, Sumit sir.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you to Aishwarya sir, moderator, all the faculties and the students for participating in this webinar. And I hope this webinar will definitely going to benefit you if you are planning your career. So before starting the career at Merchant Navy, basically everybody has a doubt about what is basically a Merchant Navy is. Right, so everybody has a similar doubt at what is the basic difference between an Indian Navy as well as a Merchant Navy. So as you all can see in the picture, it is very clear. On the left hand side, you can see a defense ship, as well as on the right hand side, this is called a Merchant Navy ship, right? It is one of a type of a ship which we are seeing on the right side. So basically the Indian Navy, we all know the purpose of Indian Navy. Indian Navy will be defending, playing an important part for the defense of our country. Also, they will be patrolling in the Indian waters to make sure that no foreign bodies are being, we are being attacked by them. Whereas we talked about the Merchant Navy is called as the second line of defense after Indian Navy. But basically we are not much into defense. We are more into shipping of cargoes. Cargo, I mean to say, any of the items which we call it as import or export of the cargo. This cargo can be of any type. We'll discuss that in further slides. Right. So basically what I have told you earlier, this is same, that Indian Navy will play a very crucial role for the protection of the country, whereas the Merchant Navy will be dealing with the transportation of cargo as well as it deals with the transportation of passengers. Right. So moving further, if we talk a bit of a weight scale, we can clearly see from here, the Indian Navy, the weight scale will be decided by the government of the country, right? Whereas the Merchant Navy weight scale is dependent on the international weight scale. That international department for who is looking after the wages of the Merchant Navy people is International Labour Organization and the International Transport Workers Federation. So basically what these two are doing is they have a weight scale structure, and accordingly all the countries will be following that. So it is not a particular figure with that I can tell you, but it will somewhere, your salary will be lying somewhere between the norms decided by these two organizations. Whereas in the Indian Navy, it will be totally decided by the government you are serving for, or which country government you are serving in. So moving further, Merchant Navy, I have told you, it has ships that will be transporting of cargoes and not be used for military purpose. The other side, if you have ever heard about Indian Navy, you will be heard of different ranks known as lieutenant, sub-lieutenant, commodore. So these are the ranks that are used for Indian Navy. Whereas if you talk about the Merchant Navy, you will be definitely going to hear about some of the names that will be marine engineers, or deck officers, sailors, seafarers, seamen, crew. Many terms are there that I basically use for the people, those who are working for merchant navy. Also, merchant navy will be a field where you will be interacting with the multinational crews. You will be exposed to different cultures. So you have to live in an environment with different nationalities. It is not only, there are many companies where you will find only Indians, but on the other hand, yes, there are many companies where you will find multinational crews. Multinational crew means multinational people will be working there. All right. So before joining any of the field, wherever we decide that we want to make our career in any of the fields, not only in merchant navy, anywhere, we definitely first we come to the point that what is the positive sides and what is the negative sides of the any of the field which we are planning. So if we talk about the pros in this, definitely yes, it is a job that gives you a chance and opportunity to travel around the world. Also, definitely, yes, definitely the next point is pride of uniform and respect. You get a wonderful uniform, you get good respect, a very good high salary in compared to the market. Definitely, you get tax benefits. Tax benefits in the term I would like to clarify you. It's that suppose in a financial year you do sailing for a period of more than 182 or 183 days, you will be given as an NRI citizen, and in that criteria you are eligible that you can pay your taxes. Only you have to file your taxes, but you don't need to pay your tax. If you are completing your 182, 183 days requirement is there as per the income tax regulations. So if you are sailing out of 183, you will be exempted from paying the tax in India. Healthy lifestyle, you will be getting fresh air all around. So definitely it's a healthy lifestyle. Different cultures you will be meeting with, different type of peoples you will be dealing with. Every country you will be dealing with different people, those who are coming on your ship. You can plan your sailings because yes, when you are on holidays, so according to your holiday, once if you are planning something, you want to go on a leave, you want to plan something, then definitely as per your sailing pattern, you can decide your own vacations also. And last but not the least, yes, it's an adventurous life. It's not only a 6x6 office where you are going to work, but it will be definitely a very adventurous life. You will be seeing this further. It moving on about the cons of some cons. Yeah, homesickness. Yes, it is true. You are not allowed to come back home before 6 months before completion of your contract. But yes, many companies are like, if you have any medical emergency, they'll sign you off. If your anything happens, anything mishappens in your own family, then also considerations are being given and you are allowed to come home. Extensive atmosphere, it means you will be around different since it will be carrying oil, different type of chemicals, there will be different type of lubricating oils, high temperature machines, boilers. So there will be a lot of machinery will be running around, so it is not a very calm atmosphere. The many machineries are there, so you have to be adjusted around it. Away from social life, yes, you will be quite far away from your family and friends. Prone to piracy, yes, many there are there. You would have heard many cases, ship is being pirate attacked and like that. But nowadays, it's not like very frequent. In good companies, the company is providing you with the armed guards. Armed guards basically are the people from the defense side, those who are allowed to board the vessel with their actual weapons. So in case of a piracy attack, 2 or 3 people, depending upon your company policy, they will be sending you the armed guards, so which you will be protected from them. In case of piracy, you will be protected. Studies never ends. Definitely the technology and such like, you have to give your exams very frequently for your promotions. Those exams are not very tough, but yes, they are quite tough. You need to study for it. Sleeping pattern changes. Yes, you will be traveling to different countries. So as per that country, your time zone will be changed. Your sleeping pattern will be changed. And vegetarian, yes, vegetarian people find some problem at some places. It is not like that. It is not like vegetarian people will not get food to eat. They get, but if you will compare the field, you will find mainly the people who are into shipping, they are more of a non-vegetarian. Or even if you like, suppose I'll tell you, if it is around 25 to 30 people on a ship, and even 2 or 3 are non-veg or vegetarians, or only one is a vegetarian. So in that case, also a pure the vegetarian food is being prepared for him. So nothing to worry about it. Before going further, we will take a look upon what actually types of ships are there which people normally sail on. So you all have seen there are some containers on the what we call as luggage trains. So these are the containers that we actually come from a ship. So this type of ship basically called as a container vessel. Container vessel, in this type of vessels, you can see many type of containers are there. They are of different sizes. and they carry non-bulk cargoes, in which like we want to carry a very small amount of cargo. If you talk about, suppose if you want to carry any of the assembling parts of any of the machineries, you want to, even many parcels come. So these are the vessels, those are basically used to carry non-bulk cargoes. Moving further, the other earlier one was non-bulk. So this is the bulk one. So you can see on the top there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 tanks are there. There are huge tanks. So basically it will be used for carrying of the bulk cargoes. Bulk cargoes, that means you can carry any amount of ores or cement you can carry, food grains you can carry. So whatever you want to carry, that is a bulk quantity. So it is being shipped by these type of vessels known as bulk carrier. Moving further, it is a Ro-Ro vessel. All the automobiles that are coming to India, that all automobiles, cars, you call cycles, any luxury, military vehicles, anything you call about, it is coming from these Ro-Ro vessels. It is having a many number of platforms inside it. These platforms are having around 200, 300 cars or vehicles on each and every platform. We'll see the pictures inside of it later on. This is the crude oil tanker. Crude oil is basically a product from which our petrol, diesel, aviation fuel, kerosene, gasoline, different grades of diesels are being obtained with the crude oil. So basically, what the people are doing, they are importing the crude oil, they are doing fractional distillation and extracting from it the different grades of oil, like petrol, diesel, and from there, and after the extraction, we are going to receive it. So the raw product is crude oil. So this is basically a crude oil tanker. I am more into sailing of these type of tankers. I can tell you, here also you will find 6, 7 number of tanks, and all the tanks will see how the tank looks inside, how big the tank is. This is another grade of ship which you call as a chemical tanker. So chemical tanker is basically, you can see the top side, a lot of construction strengthening materials are there, because if we put all this inside, the size of the tank becomes small. Chemical tankers are normally smaller in size. So in this type of vessel, you will be carrying different type of chemicals like sulfuric acid, nitric acid, and whatever chemicals are there, depending upon the internal coating of the tank, you can carry the chemicals. This one is the latest one, and this is the new in market, which is taking good growth. This is known as gas tankers. Gas tankers are basically, you can see the dome shape structures are there. So in this, we usually carry gas converted in liquid forms, pressurized, yes. Now moving further, and last but not the least, here this is a passenger vessel, passenger crew, and here also deck and marine engineers are working to run the propulsion part and every machinery that is on board the ship. So this picture is basically to give you a small idea what about a ship is. You please ignore this nomenclatures. What I would like to tell you is that the top part where my cursor is moving, this structure is normally known as a deck, D-E-C-K, deck. So where the deck is a part where normally the cargoes will be stored. On the left hand side, when I'm moving the cursor, this rectangular block on the top is known as the accommodation block, where you can see the large number of windows are there. Here we have our accommodation, we have our own rooms here, and somewhere from accommodation and below to here will be your engine room, where basically all the engineers are working. And below this antenna, this part is basically known as bridge. Bridge is a place from where actually a ship is navigated. All the navigational officers are there. From this place, a ship is being controlled, or you can say you have the steering wheel of the ship at this part. So now after seeing this, and if we decide that, okay, we want to pursue our career in the merchant navy, so definitely I already discussed, it's an adventurous profession, salary structure is excellent. You get financial independence, and by the age of, if you are joining after 12th class, people will start earning by the age of 2022, and while those who are marine engineers, if we will be joining, we will be getting a good salary around the age of 25, 26 only. Right, you can plan your long vacations, excellent food, excellent accommodation, and yes, no expenses are occurred for lodging or food. So you have, from the time you fly from India to join your ship to any foreign country, your food, your travel, your accommodation, each and everything is being taken care by the company. So you are not, you don't need to worry about it. Everything is being taken care by the company. So career options, if we focus about the career options, before understanding the further, first we have to understand the departmental structure of onboard a ship. So how basically it is look like, the ship is divided into two parts. On the left hand side, you can see an engineering section, and on the right hand side, you will be seeing the navigational officers. So this right side is called as the deck department, and the left side is basically called as the engine department. So since this seminar is basically for the mechanical engineers, so who will be pursuing as a marine engineer later on, we will be focusing more on the left hand side part. So in the left hand side part, the boss of our department is basically the chief engineer. Below him, the second engineer, third engineer, fourth engineer, junior engineer. And on the right hand side, you can see one electrical officer, electrical cadet, and ratings are there. So we are not going to discuss about this electrical and these are and junior rating. We will be discussing about all the engineering side, right? So when you are doing your pre-C course after mechanical engineering, the first shift that you will be doing as a engine cadet or as a junior engineer. Nowadays they have removed the engine cadet. They will be sending you on ship as a junior engineer. So once you do your sailing, 6 months sailing as a junior engineer, after that you need to give an exam. That exam is conducted by Government of India. Also, it is conducted by different countries. Like earlier they have mentioned about mine is that I give my exams from Singapore. So it depends on you from which country you prefer giving your exams. So after giving your exams, you will be entitled as a fourth engineer. You will be sailing with the company in the rank of fourth engineer. At the time of junior engineer, you are not an independent engineer on watch. So basically what you will be doing is you will be assisting. But this is the first shift. So you will be basically under second engineer and you will be learning things, that what type of machineries are there, how it is working. So you won't be given an independent job, right? So once you clear your exams and you become a fourth engineer, a fourth engineer is the rank where you will be getting your independent jobs. You will be responsible for particular machineries, right? So then you need to sail for a couple of months, I mean to say, you need to complete at least 18 to 24 months of a sea time to become a third engineer. For third engineer, you don't need to give any exams. Depending on the company takes a normal interview and they promote you for third engineer. Then again, you start sailing for third engineer. Third engineer, again, you need to sail for a couple of months. Similarly, 18 to 24 months, then you become second engineer. After second engineer also you need to give exams, those same conducted by Government of India, UK, Singapore, everywhere. Again, then you become second engineer, and then after getting some period of sailing for around 30 months, you again become a chief engineer. So basically what the thing is, if you are yeah. So basically the thing is, from the period from junior engineer to chief engineer, it will be taking somewhere around 10 to 15 years for your overall period to become from a junior engineer to chief engineer. Some people become this same in 8 to 7 years also, depending upon which company you are sailing with. The better company you are sailing with, the promotions will be quite slow, right? So, and at the top you can see the captain. Captain is in charge of overall of the ship. So basically, if you join the merchant navy after doing a pre-C course of a marine engineering, you will be becoming a chief engineer, depending upon your exams and all, how fast you clear it. These exams are not very difficult. You can clear it very easily, but it is not very easy. But yes, you need to study a bit to clear those exams. Yeah, so this is what I have got an average structure, salary structure, that you can see what people are getting paid in per month basis. So here you can see electrical officer, we are not aware. So once you are joining your ship as a junior engineer in the starting, you will be paid around 24 to 70, depending upon your company, which company you are sailing with. Then again, fourth engineer salary starts somewhere around 1,60,000 to 294. Second engineer, similarly, you can see here in chief engineer at the top, you'll be getting somewhere around 5 lakh to 10 lakh between per month. Also, would like to tell you that the sailing time for junior officers in most of the companies are 6 months. That means 6 months you have to sail, and 6 months is holiday for you. But for top four, it is like sailing period is only for 4 months. So you don't the top four sails only for 4 months. So with time, you promote some companies have started with a sailing time of 5 months for junior officers. So that also depends upon which company you are sailing with and what criteria they have. But this is a normal structure that you will find in almost all of the companies. So as I have told you earlier, there are different departments. Deck department is for the navigational officers. Engine department is for us. and the crew ratings are the extra staff that is on board ship to help us carrying out the maintenance work. So deck department, as you can see from the picture, I showed you that below the antenna there is a place called as the bridge. So basically this is the place how a bridge looks. So what these guys will be basically doing, they will be the overall in charge for the navigation, as well as they will be more focused upon the ship's hull. Hull is the plane outer part of the ship. This blue color on the right hand side, which you can see, is called as the hull. Stability of the ship, you will be sailing in different type of water. The density of the water changes, in which tank you have to fill how much of cargo. So depending upon the stability calculation, they will be in charge for doing all the things, and they are totally responsible for the accommodation structure. Also, they will be in charge for taking off the cargo and carrying out the unloading activities. That means what cargo we have to take, where we have to keep it, which tank we have to fill, or if it is a container vessel, then as per the stability calculation, they will be doing all these things. We talk about the engine department. So engine department is basically the technical part, technical department of the vessel. We will be in charge of each and every machineries. Our main duty is to make sure that all the machineries are running on board. There is no problems with it. We follow up PMS procedures, plant maintenance system we have. As per that, we do the maintenance. So mechanical engineer is basically full of doing maintenance every time. You can see on the left hand side, the guy is taking readings of this machinery is known as generator. So on board ship, we need electricity and we have different generators. So basically a third engineer is the person who is responsible for generators. But yes, but if you are an independent watchkeeper, then definitely we also have to take care of it. So we normally go in engine room. It's like, I can tell you, engine room is basically a size of a mall, shopping mall, you can imagine, where you have different floors, and like a shop, everywhere you are placed with a different type of machinery. We are going to see a video later on. So then in that complete area, you will be an individual person who will be handling during your period of watch. What that time you will be taking care of the machineries. So you will be taking the full rounds. You will be checking whether all the machineries are working properly or not, the temperatures, the pressures, each and everything you will be taking care of. And at the end of your round, when you are free taking your rounds, on the right hand side, you can see a control room. So control room is a place basically where you will be sitting during your watch. And from here, there are different computers and everything where you can monitor how the equipments are running, what systems are running, what are the pressures, temperatures, vibrations, everything you can see from here. So we are not more concerned about the deck department. Deck department you can do after a 10+2, or you can do a BSc Nautical Science. We'll move further. In the engine department also, after 10+2, you can go for BTech in Marine Engineering. That is a 4-year course that you can opt for. We'll not go much in detail about it. Yeah, so this is the part that we will be focusing more on, how we can do join Merchant Navy after doing a mechanical engineering. So if you are a mechanical engineer, you can become a marine engineer. So for that, you need to do a 1-year course that is basically known as Graduate Marine Engineering, or you can short form it is called as GME course. So this marine engineering course, either you can do by after 10+2, or you can do by 1 year after mechanical. So what is the basic requirement for doing a GME course? So definitely it has to be a BE or BTech in mechanical engineering or a naval architecture from a college approved by AICTC or a deemed university approved by UGC. Our engineering colleges everywhere, most of the colleges are Indore, been approved by it, so you don't need to worry about it. Your age at the time of admission should not be more than 25. Your minimum score in the final year should be around 55 to 66. This is an average I'm telling you, because these exams are being conducted by different institutes of their own. So this criteria you can find somewhere around 50, somewhere you can around 60. So it depends upon the institute to institute. Your engineering should be completed in the 4 years from the date of admission. Also, yeah, what we called as backlogs, SEMlog, or what we called ATKTs, it should not be more than 6. Also, this part of ATKTs is also depending upon the institute you are planning to join for doing your course. It can vary, some say it is 3, someone says it's 5. So depending upon them, which institute you are planning, you have to see their own requirements. This is an average at that I'm telling you. Also, at the time of your course, individual should be unmarried. Moving further, the candidates who are in 8th semester can also are eligible to apply. Candidate, those who have scored of minimum 60% in English, they require in 10+2. Candidate must be physically fit as per the DG Shipping. DG Shipping is the department in India that is known as Directorate General of Shipping. So whether you join a government company or you join a private company, you join a foreign company. So each and everything, your paperwork, your documents will be taken care by Directorate General of Shipping. So they have a physical standards. Also, these physical tests, it's not like you can go to any doctor and say that please do a physical fitness test for me. No, it's not like that. DG Shipping has given rights to a couple of doctors in India, those who are entitled to carry out this physical test. So accordingly, once you are joining your company will tell you that okay, you go to so and so address and you go for a DG Shipping test. So physical fitness test is not as difficult as you see in movies for joining of defense forces, but it is a normal physical test. They ask you to do a couple of push-ups, couple of running, they will ask you to do a couple of squats. So it is not a much difficult task to take care about it. Also, you can see, yeah, the eyesight is not much of a problem. Many people can join with lenses, or if they have specs. Corrective lenses are also permitted. Color blindness you should not have. Also, GME course fees. Yes, here course fees. This 1 year course fees will somewhere come around 3.5 to 5.5 lakhs a year. Same I have told you, depending upon the institute you are planning to do. Uh, when you are planning to join any of the institute to carrying out this course, I'll suggest you don't go by seeing the fees, because there are many institutes that I'll cover later on. Many institutes that is sort of a college. What they'll do, they'll enroll you, they'll make you a 1 year course, they'll complete it, and then it is sort of a college. So what they'll do, they'll ask for the placement, they'll call for the company. If some shipping companies are coming for the placements, it is good. If it is not, then you are again stuck. Then again, people are wandering around the agents. They are paying a lot of money to the agents. That even agents are charging around 1.5 to 3 lakhs for giving you your first ship. So how you have to proceed further is like you have to see good institutes which are giving you 100% placements guarantee they give you. Also, these placements are also depending upon your academics over there, how you study. Like suppose if there are 60 students in a batch, so it is not like the 60th person will be getting the ship first. They give because the company is having 60 to 80 number of ships. So what basically they will be doing is, like as per your academics, they will be allotting you the ships, right? So this is the part as per the eligibility criteria. So once you are done with your BTech degree, then you have to go for your GME entrance exams for institutes. Different institutes will be conducting their own exams. Once you clear those exams, that the company will be calling you for giving a 16 PF test. It is a personality factor test. It is not a technical test, but it is basically a aptitude test. They will be basically, suppose they give you a scenario. A person has fallen in this place. So what will be your response? So some people have a negative response. Some people will have a positive response. So it is not a compulsory test, but yes, a sub company does take this test just to check your personality, how it is, right? Then once you clear it, or if it is not there, then you will be going for a technical test. Technical test they will be conducting, that will be coming under GME entrance test only. If you clear those two parts, then you will be having a panel interview. The chart which I have discussed you have seen the chief engineer at the top. So a couple of chief engineers will be sitting there and they will be asking a couple of questions. So just to give you a small idea, what they generally ask is about in the mechanical, what do we normally study? We study about two-stroke engines, four-stroke engines. We study about Otto cycle, diesel cycle. We study about different type of pumps. What types of pumps are there? How pump is actually working? Why positive displacement pump is used? So similar type of questions we study. We have studied in the mechanical first year. What are different type of boilers? How boilers is working? What is the function of safety valve? And later on mechanical, we have studied about air conditioning systems. So what is the basically use of a condenser, why we are using it, function of expansion valve. So basically they will be asking you a very nominal basic mechanical engineering questions that you need to be prepared for. And once you cleared everything, the last but not the least, you will be screened by the DG Shipping medicals. So medicals, once you clear it, then you are good to go to join the college. Also, moving further, if you get enrolled for any of the course, so what you will be basically studying about is electrical and electronics related to the ship. What type of electronic systems are there? You will be studying about marine machineries, what type of machineries are there, how they are working, working principles. Marine engineering drawing, similarly we study as machine drawing in our mechanical. We have a marine engineering drawing where you will be studying the specific components drawing there. Safety part, you will be studying basic structure of the ship. You will be studying communication skills and yes, hydraulics. So the next coming slides, I will be showing you a couple of pictures that are taken from my free time when I did my PC. So you can just see how the life is there at any of the institutes. So this is the picture I guess taken from any of the 26th January function. So this is all the cadets are being assembled. So you will be getting such uniforms when you will be doing your training part. This is the training part we were doing about your personality, I guess, personal survival techniques, PhD courses there. Some passing out functions, then again this sort of some trainings, how you can survive in water, what are the tactics you should use. Some passing out, you will be doing a lot of physical activities in the different institutes you are joining. So like this I've told you earlier, on the left hand side you can see you will be doing what you will be completing your 1-year course of GME, Graduate Marine Engineering, from any of the institutes. Then the institute will give you a ship. If you are doing from a good institute, the institute will be giving you a ship to sail on for 6 months as a junior engineer. So one that I've discussed earlier also. Then again you have to pass your exam for 4th engineer. You become 4th engineer, then you again keep on sailing. For 4th engineer, company takes your interview. If you are good, they'll promote you for 3rd engineer. You again sail for 18 to 20 months. This 18 to 20 months, what I am speaking is not on a stretch, but at a period of six months. Once you are done with your third engineer also, then you are eligible to give exams for 2nd engineer. You clear your exams for 2nd engineer, you become 2nd engineer, you start sailing as 2nd engineer. Now your sailing time will be reduced to 4 months. Then again, 90% of the companies are allowing you to carry your family with you for the top 4 ranks. The top 4 is like from our department, it is 2nd engineer and chief engineer. And from the navigational part, it is chief officer and captain. So basically, once you become a 2nd engineer, your contract is for 4 months. That time you are allowed to carry your family with you. Also, once you become 2nd engineer, you again start sailing. 30 months you complete approx. Depending on the company will ask you to give your exams for chief engineer. Once you become chief engineer, you are the head of the department, right? So this is normally how life goes for a marine engineer on a vessel. Even after this chief engineer also, there are a couple of exams people do to take jobs on land. So depending upon what you are planning for your career, it totally depends on it. Right. So I basically told you about a couple of institutes. So I can just guide you about it. My intention is not to promote any institute, but whatever I've heard about, I'm just going to tell you about some of the institutes. These institutes are good institutes. As per my recommendations, I can tell you Anglo-Eastern Maritime Academy. It is also, this institute is located somewhere in Kamshet, that is in between Lonavala and Pune, if you have heard. So Anglo-Eastern is a company which is having somewhere around 700 to 800 ships, and they have their own training institute. So what they basically do is you clear your GME exam from here, you do your 1-year course, and they send you on their own ships, right? So you don't need to worry about after completion of the course who will be giving us a job, right? So Anglo-Eastern is a good institute that you can opt for if you are planning. The other institute is Samudra Institute, from where I have completed my GME. On the left hand side, you can see a orange part. The institute is so good, they have created a own working ship where you do a 6 months of training here. And all this ship is, they have a lake behind it, and it is totally working. So it is a very good institute also. Samudra Institute is basically, there is a shipping company known as Executive Ship Management Singapore. So Executive Ship Management का ही ये institute है, Samudra Institute, and they will be training their own cadets over here. And after completion of your training, they will be sending you on their own executive fleets. Right. One another institute is HIMT Chennai. This is also people are nowadays opting for, right? So these are a couple of the institutes in India, and also if you are planning to do this course from Singapore, there is a university known as Singapore Polytechnic. It is a very big college in the field of maritime. If you are planning for UK, then again it is a very good college. This is South Shields College, right? So this is the institute part, which I can just suggest you. There are other many institutes. You can Google them and you can ask them in case you are doing it, right? So this is what all from my side. You can take this screenshot if you have any questions. Also, after this, we will be seeing a couple of videos. I want to tell you how actually a ship is looking from inside. All right. There is no video, so there is no audio, so don't worry about it. Right, so this is the type of beauty that you normally see when you wake up early in the morning. This is what you should see is this is basically a crude oil tanker, lot of pipes and all different type of tanks. Because the part you are seeing is known as the deck, and this is the place I told you one antenna is there on the top and below the antenna. This place is basically known as a bridge, navigational bridge, where the navigational officers are there, and from there they are taking control of the complete ship. Right, this is the ship part. Then if we move a bit further, oh, I guess some problem is there with the video, it seems. Oh, okay, all right. This is not working as everything is working here. I guess I have some video issues. Meanwhile, you can, if anybody has any doubt, you can ask me. I'll try if I can show you some videos. If anybody has any doubt, you can just ask. No, no problem.
Yes, all participants must free to ask any questions. You can post your questions in the chat box, or you can raise your hand so that I can unmute you.
Yeah, anyone? What about the CS branch students in the field of merchant navy? Basically, what the company is looking for, they prefer only mechanical engineering students, and for electrical part, they prefer electrical students. So basically, there is not much scope for CS students. This is more uh, basically for mechanical engineering and as well as electrical engineering students. What is the future of mechanical engineers in the merchant navy post-corona? The problem you asked this question, it's because the media of India is not focusing more about the shipping. You will be surprised to know that this is the time where we all have been working continuously, even this corona. So shipping is the thing that cannot be stopped anytime. Anything happens, so this field is like running continuously. The ships are running continuously. People are working on board. Also, if we talk about, there are special chartered planes that are being running nowadays only for the seafarers. So different shipping companies have been merged together, and they are making the sign-on sign-offs for the seafarers. So there is nothing about post-corona, because the ships will be running till the time you need food to eat, you need coal, you need petroleum, you need food, and these ships will be running. So there is not much effect for corona if you talk about. Yeah, but the corona would have given some business loss to some of the companies. But yes, once everything is on, your job is still safe. No worries. What will be the tenure of a job in merchant navy? So if you talk about a contract is basically junior officers for 6 months. 6 months you have to go. But if you are planning to join earlier, then again you can ask a company. Then your company you can join quite early. Then like normally what I do is I sail for 6 months. I stay home for 3-4 months. I again join back. right? So a tenure, one is this tenure, other is like from period of junior engineer to chief engineer till reaching the boss, you will be taking somewhere around 10 to 12 years, right? What is the syllabus for preparing appearing in GME exam? All right. I've already discussed before, GME exam is not basically a that difficult exam. They will be asking you a basic mechanical engineering questions. Some of the things I've already told you, like they will be asking you about two-stroke engines, four-stroke engines, why two-stroke engines having more power, auto cycle, diesel cycle, similarly type of boilers, compressors, pumps. So they will be asking you very basic questions, nothing to worry about. What about the lateral entries? Like I'm joining my BTech course after Polytechnic, so my BTech degree is of 3 years, so I can join the Merchant Navy course. Yes, definitely you can join it till the time you have a BTech degree with you. So it is not a problem. So you can also join it if you want. I am very sorry I'm not able to play some good videos I have. This is some crew doing deck jobs. This is normally an officer on the bridge that you can see. This is the workshop where some people are working. Some cargo operations is there. I'm not going to. How you are able to handle the attacks. Nowadays, what normally people are doing is people are having this. I told you about arm guards, right? So arm guards is a thing where normally what people is doing. The company is providing you some defense people, and defense people what they are doing is they will be coming on board with guns and all, so they will be doing their own shifts as per their own time, and depending upon that they will be protecting you, as well as there are different measures there that outside the ship you need to, there is a razor wires fencing you need to do. So many steps are taken, and we officers on the navigational bridge are extra vigilant. They have their own set of protocol, so it is being taken care of. You said that the time period of job is 6 months. Then what about the wage? We will be paid after 6 months for sailing or not? Yes, it's a very good question, and it's a very common question that everybody asks. So basically, it's like this is also depending upon the company to company, but 90% of the company will be paying you for the time period you are on board, right? So that means you will be being paid for the time you are on ship. Now, what's then how here the difference comes? I'll tell you. Suppose after you do your engineering from any of the normal institutes, normally if any of the company is hiring you, your starting package will be somewhere around 3 to 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs, somewhere between. Now, out of the 10 lakhs, you need to pay for your where you stay, your food, your accommodation. You need to your PFs are deducted. Your tax you need to pay since you are working in India. So suppose you become a fourth engineer and you join your after fourth engineer, your salary will be somewhere around 1.5 lakhs, right? So 1.5, you multiply it by 6 months, it will somewhere around 8 to 9 lakhs or more than that. So, so it's a very good amount in which that is totally being saved to you. If you want to buy something, you have a good amount in your hand. Also, if you are completing your those 6 months in a financial year, you don't need to pay a tax for it, right? Also, it is like some companies, there are some good companies, those who are offering round the year wages. They are providing, whether you are sailing with them or you are at home, they are giving you round the year wages also. But those companies are very less in number. But yes, if you talk about the wages, round the year wages, and this we are getting paid for the time period. Like suppose if you talk about once you join and after a period of 3 to 4 years, your salary will be somewhere around 15 to 20 lakhs, right? After 3 4 years. So after 3 4 years, if you're getting 15 lakhs, that is totally being for the 6 months only you are being paid 15 lakhs. So I believe it is a good amount for the people who have in compare if you compare with the people those who are working over here. Is Merchant Navy exam difficult? No, it is not difficult, Vedant. It is basically only they will be asking you basic mechanical engineering. So you don't need to much worry about it. Is English language necessary to be a Merchant Navy? Yes, they have mentioned in the eligibility criteria. They require English if you have scored 60% at the time of your when you have joined in your 10th class. So they, but not people with time, they start speaking, your campus students are speaking in English. So it is not a big problem. You don't need to worry about it. After 6 months sailing, if you want to join again, then we have to search just a minute, we have to search company again, or we can work in the same company. If you are doing from a good institute, if you are joining from a like the Anglo, the Samudra, they will be hiring you back. You clear your class 4 exam, you say okay, I clear. You completed your first sailing, you cleared your class 4 exams, then you again send your result to the company will hire you again. But if the first time only you are joining through an agent, then it becomes quite difficult. Then again, you need to search for the ships, right? But if you are going through a proper channel, you are going to a proper institute, you don't need to worry. You send your result, company will give you a next ship depending upon your rank, right? So you don't need to search again. How much GME course cost? GME course will be costing you somewhere around 3.5 to 5.5 lakhs for 1 year. This is a 1 year course. Yeah, you can, many people will be thinking the cost is quite high. Yes, but if you will see the quality of the training they are giving you, and you have to just go there by wearing a single pair of clothes. Rest everything is being taken care by them. Your hostel fees, your food, your accommodations, the uniforms that you need to you would be wearing in the campus, the uniform that you will be wearing in your rooms, your books, syllabus, everything you will be giving by your institute only. So you don't need to worry. Each and everything is being included in this fee structure. What does the computer students do? How do? I'm sorry, Arjun, this is not much for CS students. It is normally basically people are from mechanical engineering and electrical engineering students, those who are opting for. But yes, if you are from different branch, I would like to suggest you can ask for these courses in Singapore Polytechnic as well as the UK college. If you are doing those courses from there, you will be getting good companies, good opportunities also. So what's their eligibility criteria? I'm not very sure about it, but mechanical is expected they accept everywhere. But you need to inquire about CS also. I'm not sure about that. Basically, in India, they are focusing more on mechanical and electrical. Marine India mostly talks about agents and how this is a chance increase for sponsorship without agents. Yeah, basically what actually happens is like there are many companies. Like suppose I'll tell you the company which I'm working right now, it is a Tom Shipping, right? It is a company of Denmark. So Tom Shipping is not having its own institute, right? They don't have their institute to train their students. So what they basically do is they have a tie-up with, I guess, Tolani Institute is there. What they do is they have a tie-up with them. So what they do, they give you a sponsorship letter. You go to the company, you tell them I want to join their company. If they say okay, they take your interview, everything is good, they give you a sponsorship letter. What you do, you take the sponsorship letter, you go to the institute, you do the training, and then you come back and join the company. So those companies who don't have their training institutes, they give you a sponsorship letter. Okay, you are being hired by us. Now you do training from anywhere. Once you complete your training, then you come back. So this is how the sponsorship thing works. Sponsorship normally they don't provide the scholarship. They provide only the sponsorship. Okay, we are going to sponsor your job after you complete your course. How many junior engineers are there on one ship approximately, Arpit? Arpit, for every rank I told you, if I give you an overall structure, I can tell you is around on a ship out of there are approx 25 to 30 people in almost all the companies on a single ship, right? There will be 5 navigational officers on the bridge part that I have covered you before, and 5 engineers, chief engineer, second engineer, third engineer, fourth engineer, and single junior engineer, right? 5 engineers, so 20 people are covered, and 10 people are the crew, those who will be helping for the maintenance in the video, which we have seen a bit of part. So those are the people, those who will be doing the maintenance, they will be helping us for doing the maintenance. So around 20-25 people are there on a ship. Okay, then Yashraj is asking, I heard about Merchant Navy, you know so many languages of different countries, is it true or not? It's about which company you're sailing with. It's like when I was sailing with executive, I was dealing with mainly with Indians, so I was not knowing couple of different languages. But yes, when I started sailing with some, right now I'm sailing with Tom. So Tom is having some Filipino crews with us. Also, when we sail to some Spanish areas, yes, they ask how some words you get to know, like hola, they say hi, como estás, how are you? So there are a couple of words you get to know with time when you are sailing with. So it is not a compulsory, but yes, English is a basic language that you must be knowing about. How much time it takes after graduation to get a marine engineer job? Karthik, again a very good question. I will say once you do your marine engineering job, after graduation, you can apply for the institute. Normally, each institute is conducting, I believe, 2 batches in a year. Most of the institutes, one they are conducting starting in March, and another I guess they are doing in September, right? I'm telling you about Samudra. Anglo, I'm not sure, but they are also conducting batches, right? So what they are doing is whichever, like suppose your engineering is completed in approx May or June it is completed, we get a provisional degree. I joined Samudra in September batch. So 3 to 4 months was the period time I completed the formalities. I did my all GME entrance test. I did my this physical test. I did my 16 PF test. So this 3-4 months time is there. I joined in the September batch. So once you join the September batch, next September I got completed with my each and everything. Then to get your first ship as a junior engineer, you need to do couple of courses. Those courses are again under the guidelines of DG shipping. DG shipping. Those courses you do, and like a passport, we are issued a document that is known as CDC, that is Continuous Discharge Certificate. That normally takes a period of 3 to 4 months after you complete your course. But during our time when we were doing in 2014, we got the same in a month only. I completed my course in September and we got the ship in January. But nowadays, I'll tell you very frankly, after completion of your course, it will minimum take 6 months to 1 year to get your first ship. Right after completion of your course, you will be getting minimum waiting for 6 months to 1 year to get your first ship. But once you get your first ship and clear your exams, then the next ship you will be getting in hardly 3 to 4 months or max to max 6 months. That is the normally 6 on 6 off, 6 on 6 off we called as, right? So after the initial there is a waiting, that is also depending on number of ships the institute you are planning to have. Like suppose I told you about Samudra Institute. Samudra is having somewhere around 80 to 100 ships in round the year they have. If you go to Anglo is having somewhere around 700 to 800 ships. So there is a less waiting if you go to Anglo, right? So it depends upon which institute and which company you are sailing with. But yes, initially you will be facing some problem, but trust me, after 1.5 years, there is not much problem. You can, if you join a good company, you will be getting your ships well on time, no worries. What if after completing 6 months of sailing a junior exam, we are not passed exam for fourth class? All right. Pinkesh, I can tell you this exam is basically conducted as by Government of India as well as the different countries. These exams are not very difficult. What if I'll tell you is the best part is many, if I talk about 70 to 80% people are clearing these exams in 5 to 6 months only, because there are 3 to 4 subjects you need to study about. So 3 to 4 months, max to max 5 months, people are clearing these exams. And if you think, okay, I'm not good in some subject and it is taking you some time, then max to max you will be going for 7 to 8 months. So it is not like I have never heard someone who has not cleared the exam and he has left shipping. Yeah, yes, it has taken some attempts for them to clear, but it is not like they are taking 1.5 years or 2 years to clear the exam. Exams are not very difficult. It is like on a good technical, what you will be doing as a junior engineer on ship. If you are doing your training on junior engineer on ship properly, you are learning things good, then you won't be having any problem clearing those exams. Sir's course duration, Ravi, the course duration is only 1 year if you do from any institutes. Harish is asking, internship is available for students. Internship is the thing that you will be doing as a junior engineer only. Internship, when you join any company is paying you some amount, right? So when you are going as a junior engineer, you are actually doing your internship only. You are learning things. You are not responsible for anything. You are just given a chance to learn. So once your learning part is completed, like in normal company, they take your exam. That here we give your exams, and there normally they take interviews. Once everything is sorted, they make you permanent. Here also you clear your class 4 exams. You are being given an independent watchkeeping certificate. Okay, sir. Siddhansh is asking, first we have to go to the company for joining, then college for GME. No, it is not like that. If you are planning to go for internship, or the one, I guess someone has about sponsorship, in that case you need to go to the company and then they will, if they give you sponsorship, that is the case. But here what I am telling you about, you need to first do a GME course. You need to first find out from which institute I am planning to give. So you do your GME course, and from GME course only, if you are doing your GME from good institutes, the institute will be giving you the ships. If you are not doing from good institute, then again a bit of problem for you. You need to search for agents. If some companies are coming, they will take you. And if company is taking, they won't be taking more than 3 to 4 students per company, right? So you need to go for, sorry, we are editing questions and audio. All right. Anything else? sir joined GME course after Polytechnic as well. Polytechnic, basically they are looking for mechanical engineer only, and from BE or BTech in mechanical engineer. But if you are willing to join after Polytechnic, I'll suggest you give a call to them, the institute, and you ask what, because there are some institutes they may offer the Polytechnic course also. But normally 90% of the institute is looking for a BE mechanical or BE or BTech mechanical or an electrical.
Sumit sir, can
Yes,
we take some questions on audio, please?
yeah,
I
yeah,
can see a couple of presents here.
yes, no problem.
Yeah, just a sec. I guess the hand is now lowered again, so we can continue, sir. Yeah.
All right. Could we continue sailing after 6 months? Yes, Raj. There are occasions that we have some loans on us. So people, what they do is they ask the extension on company. So company grants you extension, but that also depends. But normally companies don't say no for it because it is actually saving a cost for them only. They will be saved from the cost for sign on of a new person for quite a while. So yes, there are occasions when people are taking extensions. Normally, what they do is the chief engineers and the second engineers, they are big people. They are buying a lot of big houses, so they are having a lot of loans. So yes, depending upon your own, if you want, you can take the extension. No worries about it. You can take the extension. Anything else?
Right, sir. Thank you, sir. Sumit sir. Let me check if there is any question in my chat box. No,
All right.
we don't have any more questions, sir. So I'll just go for the vote of thanks, sir. So thank you, Sumit sir, for taking out the time. And I must mention here that you came to us and you initiate this event. So this is really highly appreciated from the university side as well. So on behalf of our management, faculty members, staffs, and students, it's our pleasure that we listen to you. And yes, the insights given by you are really helpful for our students and for all the students of the under the Rajiv Gandhi Pradyogiki Vishwavidyalaya. Also, we would like to thank the Honorable Vice Chancellor of RGPV, Professor Sunil Kumar sir, who has been very keen into organizing this kind of events and sponsoring such kind of events under TQIP3. We also thank Professor Chobe, who happens to be the coordinator of TQIP3 associated with RGPV, and also to our director, Dr. Banerjee, Dean, Dr. Jairaj, who are really the thought of motivation and behind us, behind the working of the placement department and the organizing committee. And thanks to the systems and support who supported us in organizing this event. So thank you so much, Sumit sir. If you want to say something, sir. Sir, you're not audible. Just a sec, I'll unmute you.
Yeah, I'm also thankful to everyone, and I'm extremely sorry that I was not able to show you some videos I get because of some technical issues. In case anybody wish to have anything they want to ask, they can ask me anytime. They can contact the moderators of the webinar. They can share my details with you. If anybody has any doubt, I'm more happy to help you out. Thank you so much. Thank you RGPV. Thank you Chameli Devi Institute for conducting this wonderful webinar, and thank you all the students and faculty for participating in it. Thank you so much.
Right, sir. There is one instruction for all the attendees of this webinar that we'll be mailing you the feedback link shortly. So please fill the details very carefully so that the name should be correctly mentioned on your certificates. You'll be getting a certificate to attend this webinar. And for that, thank you, sir. Okay, so we'll be ending up this session. Okay, thank you.